Good morning. Welcome to the City of Gary Board of Public Works and Safety meeting for September 10th, 2025. I'd like to call the meeting to order. May we call to order by standing and say the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. To confirm, we have a legal meeting with quorum. May we have roll call?
Member Green.
Present.
Member Allen.
Present.
Secretary Morgan.
Present.
Vice President Dumas.
Present.
President Suggs.
Present.
Mr. President, there are 5 present and 0 absent.
With 5 members present, we have quorum and a legal meeting. We may proceed. Item number 3 on this agenda would be the approval of our minutes from our board meeting on September 3rd, 2025. I would entertain a motion for approval of the minutes.
So moved. Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Any discussion on the minutes from last week? Hearing no discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The meeting minutes have been approved. Let's move on to item number 4 on our agenda, claims.
Mr. President, we have before us claims to be paid on September 12th. General fund is $101,739.04. Special revenues including motor vehicle highway, local roads and streets, park department, health and human services grant, community development grant, opiate grant, police donations, court, ESG shelters grant, solid waste recycling grant, supplemental defense grant, fleet insurance, park construction, workers' comp and unemployment, a total of $139,757.12. And for other banks, public safety income tax, Northwest Indiana Cooperative, ARPA, and community development supplement, $136,160.99. Total to be paid, $377,657.15.
Thank you. I'll entertain a motion for claims payable on September 12th, 2025.
I move that we approve the claims.
Second.
Been moved and properly second. Discussion on the motion. Hearing no discussion, may we have roll call for approval, please?
Member Green.
Yes.
Member Allen.
Yes.
Secretary Morgan.
Yes.
Vice President Dumas.
Yes.
President Suggs.
Yes.
Mr. President, vote is 5 yes, 0 no.
With a vote of 5 yes and 0 against, claims payable September 12th, 2025 has been approved.
We also have ratification of claims and payroll for September 5th and 8th. For payroll, total payroll $9,520.35 and withholdings $110,308. Total paid was $119,828.61. And for claims $30,797.46.
Entertain a motion for ratification of payroll and claims payable September 5th and 8th.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Been moved and properly second. Discussion on the motion. Hearing no discussion, may we have roll call for approval, please?
Member Green.
Yes.
Member Allen. Secretary Morgan.
Yes.
Vice President Dumas.
Yes.
President Suggs.
Yes.
Mr. President, the vote is 5 yes, 0 no.
With a vote of 5 yes and 0 against, the ratification of claims payable September 5th and 8th has been approved.
That concludes claims.
Thank you. Moving on to item number 5 on our agenda, correspondence and agreements. Correspondence from Gary Park Police Department, please.
Okay, so, Mr. President, first we have a retirement. We have the retirement notice for Sergeant Michael Jackson Sr. We respectfully submit the retirement notice of Sergeant Michael Jackson Sr. Sergeant Jackson began his employment as a Gary police officer for the city on December 27, 1989, totaling 36 years of service. He retired from his position effective September 7, 2025. So I move that we approve the retirement of Sergeant Michael Jackson Sr.
There's a motion on the floor approving the retirement of Sergeant Michael Jackson Sr. May I have a second to the motion?
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. Discussion on the motion? Roll call for approval, please.
Member Green?
Yes.
Member Allen?
Yes.
Secretary Morgan?
Yes.
Vice President Dumas?
Yes.
President Suggs?
Yes.
President, the vote is 5 yes, 0 no.
With a vote of 5 yes, 0 against, I'd like to congratulate Sergeant Michael Jackson Sr. for his 36 years of service to the city of Gary. Has been approved.
All right, next, Mr. President, we have memorandum from the Department of Public Works regarding the purchase of road salt. It's a memo from the Director, Ms. Rachel Morgan Caesar. Public Works is requesting permission from the Board of Public Works to purchase road salt in accordance with the state QPA. The city's vendor of choice is Cargill. The description and price unit per ton is $88.91 per ton. The City of Gary is in LaPorte, District 40, and receives treated road salt delivered to our salt dome. So with that, I move that we approve the purchase of road salt at $88.91 per ton from Cargill as described in the memo.
It's a motion on the floor to purchase road salt. May I have a second to the motion, please?
Second.
Been moved and properly second. Discussion on the motion? May we have roll call for approval, please?
Member Green?
Yes.
Member Allen?
Yes.
Secretary Morgan?
Yes.
Vice President Dumas?
Yes.
President Suggs?
Yes.
Mr. President, the vote is 5 yes, 0 no.
With a vote of 5 yes and 0 against, the purchase of road salt utilizing Indiana State QPA at a price of $88.91 per ton has been approved.
Mr. President, we have correspondence from the engineering department. First on the list is asphalt unit rate pricing sheets. We're working with Public Works to establish the unit rates for asphalt patching material. And we have 2 sealed quotes. The first one is from Milestone Contractors LP, located at 1700 East Main Street in Griffith, Indiana. Okay, so for asphalt material without slag, the cost is $62 per ton. Asphalt material with slag, there's no bid. We have asphalt material, B grade 64, super pay level 5, that is $65 per ton. And then for cold mix, we have a price of $142 per ton. And again, that is from Milestone Contractors. Next, we have from Reef and Riley Construction Company, located at 7500 West 5th Avenue, here in the city of Gary. Okay, we have a asphalt material with no slag, $88 per ton. Sorry about that. Asphalt material with slag, $65 per ton. And then we have 9.5 millimeter type B, SP5 58-28S, with slag and recycled asphalt, $63 per ton. For cold mix, $125 per ton. At this time, I would like for us to accept, I would like to make a motion to accept both unit rate sheets for us to use when it comes to purchasing of asphalt material.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. Motion to purchase both rate sheets for asphalt material. Discussion on this motion?
I have a question or two.
Mhm.
So, is there a real quality difference between the asphalt with slag, with no slag, or with the recycled asphalt in it? Or is it just you use different grades for different?
You can use different material for different situations, and then there's also, depending on what's available as well. with the cold mix, I know they use that during the winter seasons, and then, you pay more in order to get a higher grade, for the tonnage as well.
Okay.
I have a question. I didn't hear in the cost estimates the availability, when mix would be available. Is there a time frame that we can anticipate?
Usually the workers, either call or they get calls when asphalt's available, and then they'll, coordinate a pickup.
Okay.
So we would have to go to the, plant in order to retrieve the material.
And that's typically at the end of the paving season, when they transition from the hot to the cold.
And that's normally a temperature
Yeah.
determination? Okay. Any additional questions? Hearing no questions, may we have roll call?
I do have one.
Yes, please.
Is that people have made comments to me about how our roads are better, and they're, people are pleased that we're doing these things, we're getting to more streets, and it's making a difference to folks, so just that.
And just to clarify, this is just material for, patchwork throughout the
Yeah.
city. This isn't the mill and pave, those unit, prices will come at a later time, this year, for the year 2026.
Okay. Thank you.
Well, certainly appreciate that comment, and I know that Executive Director Morgan Caesar and I have had the conversation as we have been able to meet some expectations, creates additional expectations, and so we must be prepared to do even more extensive response to road patch requests. Roll call, please.
Member Green,
Yes.
Member Allen,
Yes.
Secretary Morgan,
Yes.
Vice President Dumas,
Yes.
President Suggs.
Yes.
Mr. President, the vote is 5 yes, 0 no.
With a vote of 5 yes and 0 against, the motion carries.
Next, we have a professional service contract with VSI Ltd. This is, at the last meeting, I had mentioned that there'd be one more, contract for material purchase. This is in the amount not to exceed $190,210.90. The money will be coming out of the community, development fund. We don't have a QC4 yet that's being worked on as we speak. But again, this is, the last additional purchase of, streetlight poles and heads, to make that proactive effort in replacing standing outdated poles, throughout the city. At this time, I would like to make a motion that we accept the contract for construction, professional services for VSI, not to exceed $190,210.90, pending, QC40, being attached.
There's a motion on the floor for purchase of material from VSI in an amount not to exceed $190,210.90. Is there a second for the motion?
Second.
Been moved and properly second. Discussion? Hearing no discussion, may we have roll call for approval, please?
Member Green,
Yes.
Member Allen,
Yes.
Secretary Morgan,
Yes.
Vice President Dumas,
Yes.
President Suggs.
Yes.
Mr. President, the vote is 5 yes, 0 no.
With a vote of 5 yes and 0 against, the professional service contract between the City of Gary and VSI has been approved.
Mr. President, that concludes correspondence from the engineering department.
Next, Mr. President, we have correspondence from community development. I'm sorry.
Oh, I did miss one, I'm sorry. We have, one last item, under correspondence from the engineering department. We have an MOU, with the Gary Airport. This is, for the airport road relocation project. This is preliminary engineering, services. Funding has been made available, federal funding has been made available through NDOT, and NERC, to conduct the, engineering design behind the relocation of Airport Road. This MOU just establishes how the services are gonna be paid for. there's no money that the city needs to put towards this project. It will be handled through the Gary Airport. The money that will be reimbursed, so let me start back. So the airport will pay the entire price for the service. The money would then get reimbursed by NDOT to the city, and then we will pay airport the reimbursement money. So they'll be taking care of the full cost, getting reimbursed at 80%, while also being responsible for the 20% match. At this time, I would like to make a motion that we accept this MOU between the city and the Gary Airport.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second that a memorandum of understanding between the Gary Chicago International Airport Authority and the City of Gary Board of Public Works and Safety. Any discussion on the motion?
Mr. Allen, can you give an overview of the project and what it'll mean for that road?
So this project needs to be done because the Gary Airport is proposing to expand their runway to have additional service. And this isn't a project that's gonna take place next year. It's gonna take some time to actually develop and design the project. We're looking at around like maybe 10 years down the line. We're estimating $400,000 is expected to take care of the preliminary engineering design services, which could take 2 years to perform, and then it's the construction funding behind that project that's we're gonna have to seek funding in order to get that done. So again, this is like a 10-year project. By the runway expanding for additional service for the airport, it's gonna require the existing airport road from I wanna say half a mile east of Klein, right where you get over to the overpass. From there, all the way to Clark Road, the roadway would have to be adjusted or pushed further north in order to accommodate the runway expansion for the airport. Hopefully I answered that. I know that was kind of long-winded.
Thank you for
Mhm.
that.
Any additional questions? May we have roll call for approval, please?
Member Green?
Yes.
Member Allen?
Yes.
Secretary Morgan?
Yes.
Vice President Dumas?
Yes.
President Suggs?
Yes.
President votes 5 yes, 0 no.
With a vote of 5 yes and 0 against, the MOU between the Gary Chicago International Airport and the City of Gary Board of Works and Public Works and Safety has been approved.
All right, now that concludes correspondence from the engineering department.
Next, Mr. President, we have correspondence from Community Development. It's a request to advertise bids for 3 emergency repairs, which consist of 2 roofs and 1 window. In accordance with the city's procurement policies and applicable federal regulations, the Community Development Department is requesting approval to advertise bids for the following project. The first one is 1438 West 35th
Yes.
Avenue. The funding source is CDBG funds, and the scope of work is the replacement of a window that was recently damaged from a shooting. The second is 4303 Harrison Street, also CDBG funds is gonna fund this. It's to repair a roof from recent storm damage, and the last is 745 Harrison Street, also CDBG funding, to repair a roof for an emergency situation. The advertisement will invite qualified contractors to submit sealed bids for the specified projects. Bid specs and requirements will be made available through the Community Development Department beginning on September 11, 2025. So with that, I move that we approve this request to advertise for bids for community development projects.
There's a motion on the floor to approve the advertising of bids for 3 emergency projects for Community Development Department. May I have a second?
Second.
Been moved and properly second. Discussion on the motion? May we have roll call for approval, please?
Member Green?
Yes.
Member Allen?
Yes.
Secretary Morgan?
Yes.
Vice President Dumas?
Yes.
President Suggs?
Yes.
Mr. President, the vote is 5 yes, 0 no.
With a vote of 5 yes and 0 against, the request to advertise bids for the 3 emergency repairs for community development has been approved.
Next, Mr. President, we have the ratification of a contract for professional services with ESP Public Relations that has an address in Playa del Rey, California. This contractor has performed work for the city before. The scope of services are that they agree to help the city in the areas of public relations and communications. And that includes writing press releases, other media contacts that help the city raise its profile, and that also helps us quite a bit with economic development. The term of this contract is effective immediately and expiring on October 31st, 2025. The amount not to exceed is $9,000 to be paid at $3,000 per month, with the contractor providing billing statements to the city. So with that, I move that we approve this contract for professional services with ESP Public Relations.
Second.
There's a motion on the floor to approve a contract between ESP Public Relations and the City of Gary for an amount not to exceed $9,000.
Yes, paid out at,
Yeah, we have a typo on our form here. Is there a discussion on the motion?
Yes, do we need to extend the date?
Roll call for approval.
Member Green?
Yes.
Member Allen?
Yes.
Secretary Morgan?
Yes.
Vice President Dumas?
Yes.
President Suggs?
Yes.
President, the vote is 5 yes, 0 no.
With a vote of 5 yes and 0 against, the professional services contract between ESP Public Relations and the City of Gary has been approved.
the next, Mr. President, we have a contract for professional services with Complex Network Solutions. It's located in Hickory Hills, Illinois. The scope of services are the contractor agrees to provide professional services, create configurations, migrate the switches, clean up the racks, patch, put in new patch cabling, check existing circuits and documentation, which is attached here to and incorporated herein, which is a list of the services. The amount not to exceed is $19,200, and they agree to perform this work between now and October 10th, 2025. So with that, I move that we approve this contract with Complex Network Solutions to provide services related to our computer network for the city for the amount of $19,200.
There's a motion on the floor to approve a professional services contract between Complex Network Solutions and the City of Gary to provide a network upgrade for the City of Gary, City Hall in the City of Gary. Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. Any discussion on the motion?
We have Ms. Gaston from IT. Can you shed any more light on this and the need for the services?
If you would stand near the table front here. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
All right, so Complex Network, they will be performing the services for us with our network. We just want to provide more stability. Of course, that's going to increase our network speeds, and we just definitely need it as well, and so much more. It is older equipment, so we just want to get that upgrade done.
Any questions? Thank you.
You're welcome.
May I have roll call for approval, please?
Member Green?
Yes.
Member Allen?
Yes.
Secretary Morgan?
Yes.
Vice President Dumas?
Yes.
President Suggs?
Yes.
Mr. President, the vote is 5 yes, 0 no.
With a vote of 5 yes and 0 against, the professional services contract between the City of Gary and Complex Network Solutions has been approved, not to exceed $19,200.
Next, Mr. President, we have an amendment to a contract with Joshua Landscape Management LLC, which is located in Maryville, Indiana. They've been doing landscape work for the city, helping beautify the city. The original contract was from May 1st through December 31st of this year for an amount not to exceed $150,000, whereas more services than originally anticipated are needed to be performed by the contractor, which exceeds the maximum amount approved compensation by less than 20%, and whereas it's necessary to increase the originally approved compensation of $150,000 by the amount of $11,632.55. So the parties therefore would agree as follows. The The city agrees to pay the contractor an amount not to exceed $161,632.55, based on the rate of $300 per hour. Invoices shall be submitted to Rachel Morgan Caesar, Director of Public Works. So with that, I move that we approve this increase to the contract with Joshua Landscape Management LLC. The increase will be for $11,632.55 to put us at a total of $162,632.55.
There's a motion on the floor to amend the contract between the City of Gary and Josh's Landscaping Management LLC. May I have a second?
Second.
Been moved and properly second. Any discussion on the motion?
Attorneys, do we need to correct undercompensation? The writing says 161,000, but in parentheses, 162.
Good
So,
catch.
We can make the correction in the version that we sign.
okay.
Any additional questions? Roll call for approval, please.
Member Green?
Yes.
Member Allen?
Yes.
Secretary Morgan?
Yes.
Vice President Dumas?
Yes.
President Suggs?
Yes.
President's vote is 5 yes and 0 no.
With a vote of 5 yes and 0 against, the amendment to the contract between Josh's Landscaping and Management and the City of Gary has been approved.
Next, Mr. President, we have an amendment to the contract with More is Better Lawn Care Service, which is located in Maryville. The original contract was for landscaping services to go from May 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2025 for an amount not to exceed $14,000. Whereas more services that were originally anticipated are needed, but it would be under the 20% cap. Whereas it's necessary to increase the originally approved compensation by the amount of $1,400. Now therefore, in consideration of mutual promises, the contract will be altered as follows. That the contractor will now have an amount not to exceed of $15,400 even. So I move that we approve this amendment to the contract with Moore's Better Lawn Care Service to add $1,400 to take the total not to exceed amount under this contract of $15,400.
There's a motion on the floor to amend the contract between More is Better Lawn Care Services and the City of Gary. May I have a second?
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. Is there any discussion on the motion on the table? May we have roll call for approval, please?
Member Green?
Yes.
Member Allen?
Yes.
Secretary Morgan?
Yes.
Vice President Dumas?
Yes.
President Suggs?
Yes.
President, the vote is 5 yes, 0 no.
With a vote of 5 yes and 0 against, the amendment to the contract between More is Better Lawn Service and the City of Gary for an additional $1,400, totaling the contract to $15,400, has been approved.
Next, Mr. President, we have a contract for professional services with CompPsych FMLA. So this agreement is for the delivery of family and medical leave and Americans with Disabilities Act related services to the city to assist our Human Resources Department. The services will begin November 1st of this year and have an initial term of 2 years. The client agrees to pay the company $1.05. I don't know what PEP-M means. So they're gonna get
Pepman
paid.
fees, PE.
You want to just have her testify to it?
Please.
She's right here.
Okay. Well, first I'll make the motion to approve this contract for services related to FMLA and ADA to help the city's HR department manage those functions. It's a 2-year contract, and you will explain the fee structure. So that's my motion.
It's a motion on the floor to approve the agreement between the City of Gary and FMLA Source. May I have a second?
Second.
Been moved and properly second. Discussion on the motion. Open the floor for you.
The contract with CompPsych is basically needed for FMLA plus ADA. So when you see the fee for the 105, that's really supposed to be per member. So,
Okay.
and they calculating at 575 employees plus the 275 per employee per month for, FMLA services. So that's somewhere close to 2,300 a month.
And just to provide additional clarification, this FML service is much needed because this will allow for us to ensure that when we're receiving the request from staff, is being vetted by a peer physician. None of us are physicians, so we're making sure we're providing the most accurate information back about what accommodations we can or cannot make in regards to the workplace based on job description. And so also allowing for the city to move to unbiased process. It ensures that the HR is handling it and the third parties handling it, so that it also helps, should anybody feel that it's not, we can articulate that these people don't know any of these employees and don't even sit within the city. So it just leads for a clean, unbiased process to ensure we're supporting our employees who may need FML, but also that we're as compliant as we can with the law. So it really is a much needed resource. We've gone through some cases in which the law department has saw that were pause for concern, and so this just makes it a lot cleaner for our HR department, and our HR department only having six employees with 600 employees that they support. Any given time, based on the situation, they can have more than a dozen cases that they need to vet, and it just makes it cleaner this way, should there be any cause for concern. So, trust me, my personal opinion that this is a much needed service. They went through about 4 vendors that they looked at to make sure we had the most equitable plan for the city based on our needs and based on price point. So all of those have been vetted in regards to it, and looked at the recommendations. And I think the law department combed through this for almost 6 months to get to this point. So it's been thoroughly vetted by the law department as well.
Additional questions or comments?
What is your funding source for the 28,000?
Well, they didn't really specify the funding source. I thought, what I gathered, because I spoke with Chancey about this will come out of our,
Good afternoon, good morning.
Good morning.
I'm sorry, I had someone in my office.
yes, this will come out of our, professional services, correct?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
So,
So we'll need the QC-40, and we need to make sure we cover it for next year also. The
Yes.
current
Okay.
next year.
Yes.
do you?
Was it QC 49 attached? We do have it.
He has it, yeah. It was.
I'm sorry, it must not have gone over. I apologize, but we do have it. Okay, yeah, it's through the professional services account, but it,
Is there an expectation that the city's gonna see a net savings, whereas the 2,300 approximately per month that we pay out, we will end up saving it and,
Well, we'll see better production from our employees. We'll have less absenteeism. And that's gonna be a big part of our return, ROL, is that we believe that this company is going to put us in a place where we're in less risk and we don't have as many individuals out on FMLA.
Okay. Well, my last question is, are they gonna give notices to employees when it's time for them to return to work, or they'll notify the city and then,
Yes.
okay?
Absolutely, they will from start to finish. In fact, there'll be training for department heads, there'll be training for employees, and it's gonna be fully automated, whereby employees are going to notify the employer is gonna be able to go out on a system. We'll be notified anytime someone is notified, and the certification, which I'm not for sure a lot of people are familiar with, but there's 15 days when you have to turn that certification in from the doctor to be qualified. And they have a method where they'll do it in 10 days, they'll do it in 5 days, they'll notify them in 3 days. So there will be no reason for individuals to say, I couldn't get it, I didn't know, and so on and so forth. So I think it's gonna be an amazing oversight over our FMLA, and it is going to save us dollars in the long run.
From the perspective of the operations team coming out of our meeting hosted by the Human Resource Department, where we had an opportunity to do a full look at the opportunities for the city of Gary, this was a big miss for us, leaving our limited knowledge of the Family Medical Leave Act. And we were trying to implement something that we didn't clearly understand. This gives us the capacity of a professional group to help us implement and fully cover the city as well as the employees at the full intent of the Family Medical Leave Act. So I'm confident that we will be receiving some, actually some, as you said, additional productivity, but we will be supporting our employees as the act intended.
Absolutely.
And does this cover all departments, including public safety and?
Everyone,
Every employee, yes.
every employee is covered. And we actually did some best practices on this prior to even stepping out into this, and public and private sector, because of the legal, and most of them are going to a company that's what they specialize in. I have to say Chancey has been doing an amazing job. He's the person I employed that handle it, but when you're trying to handle, 20, 30 people at a time, and you just need a staff, and so this company has a large staff that handles things in different areas. So we're confident that yes, it's going to be an ROL and a return on our investment in this.
Thank you. Any additional questions? May we have roll call for approval, please?
Member Green?
Yes.
Member Allen?
Yes.
Secretary Morgan?
Yes.
Vice President Dumas?
Yes.
President Suggs?
Yes.
President, vote is 5 yes, 0 no.
With a vote of 5 yes and 0 against, the agreement between the City of Gary and FMLA Source has been approved.
Next, Mr. President, we have employee conflict of interest form. This is signed by Ms. Kiana Ezell. She's assistant manager, I'm not sure the department, but Parks Department. So, and the conflict is that there was a $400 contract decorating for an event that she was given, I believe, this was it for the city council?
Yeah, but she's an employee as well.
Okay, so she's revealing that as an employee, she had a $400 contract, and the work is done. So, what needs to happen is if this board approves it, then everything's fine. The whole point of the conflict of interest law and disclosure statement is just to reveal that this happened, and the work was done and verified. So I move that we approve this uniform conflict of interest disclosure statement for Kiana Ezell related to the $400 contract she fulfilled doing decorating services for the city council.
There's a motion on the floor to approve the conflict of interest disclosure for employee Kiana Ezell. Is there a second?
Second.
Been moved and properly second. Is there discussion on this motion? I guess my question to our legal team, would this be something that is normally submitted prior to?
Yes.
By approving this form, are we encouraging folks to do personal revenue generation?
Well, I think there's a need for us to inform everyone who works for the city what the administration's standards and preferences are when it comes to this kind of thing, and what we require. So, if you're an employee, you should do things under your, the term of your employment.
Scope of your job.
Thank you. If you are gonna be performing extra services, a discussion needs to be had in advance and preliminary approval, that that's okay with the administration. And then, before the work is performed, that the conflict of interest form should be submitted for approval. So there's a few things that, and this is not the only thing that maybe was not done in the ideal order, but I think as we move forward and communicate a little more clearly with our employees in various departments, that hopefully we'll stay ahead of this. The administration will have knowledge before any work is performed, and just, hold everybody to the highest standard. So I agree that it should have been done prior to July, but here we are, so.
And then there's a fine line, I'm not sure where she works, but the fine line is a person working in a department cannot earn revenue for personal services that the city would have ordinarily earned, if the city would have been able to earn it.
Yeah, but we don't provide decorating services at this time.
Where was this? At Marquette?
No, another event. I think it was a parade or something like
4th of
that.
July.
Yeah, 4th of July parade.
Okay, and that, well, that didn't relate, but I mean, there are things that do relate.
Yeah.
That would be the thin line.
I guess, what would be a measure that we make sure that everyone clearly understands? How can we get ahead of this? I mean, this is kind of putting a Band-Aid over something afterwards, but we need to certainly.
So we can, we mean the law department, can help draft a policy that says, if you're an employee, before you even consider doing something that would involve a contract with the city, you've got to get it approved by the administration. That's my suggestion, but, we need to kind of sit down and get the mayor's feelings on it. Certainly talk to the controller's office and make sure that everyone's adhering to the policy. So in my experience, the state board, IRS really frowns on people getting, so you're getting you're a regular W-2 employee, and then you're getting 1099s because you're doing contract work for the city. That confuses the issue, and so I think we have to come up with a policy, and we have to be strong on enforcing the policy, meaning the executive branch of government. So,
Okay.
and again, I think we should meet on it real soon.
Yeah.
And work out what the exact policy should be, and give people deadlines that if you don't have it approved in advance, I'm sorry, you perhaps, have to donate that work.
So just one more clarification. The work that was being hired to perform was work that was being hired to perform for the city of Gary?
So, and again, I found all this out after the fact. I believe the young lady was hired to decorate the float for the city council for the 4th of July parade.
Okay. Any additional questions? May we have roll call for approval?
Member Green,
Yes.
Member Allen,
Yes.
Secretary Morgan.
Yes.
Vice President Dumas,
Yeah, yes.
President Suggs.
No.
Mr. President, the vote is 4 yes and 1 no.
With a vote of 4 yes and 1 no, the motion carries.
Can I add one more thing to my commentary? Is that we may have a situation where people don't know that there's something objectionable, and so this is why we have to come up with a written policy and socialize it to all our employees, so they understand that this may have been acceptable previously, but that we're trying to keep everybody out of trouble. So,
Certainly, my vote was not to be punitive, but just, I think ethically, it was pushing the line.
I don't disagree with you. All right, next, and my apologies, I got something out of order here, which is the fire department. They have a retirement notice for paramedic Julie Dolato. Okay. We respectfully submit the retirement notice of paramedic Julie Dolato. She began her employment with the city of Gary on April 10th, 2000, totaling 25 years and 4 months of service. She's retiring from her position effective August 19, 2025, signed by Chief Larry Tillman. So I move that we approve the retirement notice of paramedic Julie Delato.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second the approval of the retirement notice for paramedic Julie Delato after 25 years and 4 months of service with the city of Gary. Any discussion on the motion?
We certainly want to thank her for her over 25 years of service to the people of Gary and wish her a long and healthy retirement. And Chief Tillman, do you have?
Yes, Larry Tillman, Chief of the Gary Fire Department. I do want to speak for paramedic Julie Delato. She did give a lot of her good years to the city. She is leaving under some unfortunate circumstances. You know, she was very public about it due to illness, but I just want to thank her for her sacrifices with the city. She was my first partner when I rode on the ambulance as an EMT. She thought I had more experience than I did, and it was a lot of fussing and cussing during that time, but she turned me into a proficient EMT on the rig. We went into many communities within the city, Dora Miller, Delaney, and people would just cling to her, like families would cling to her about the help that she would give them. She was talking to them like, did you take your medicine? And the kids running up, and you know, as many times as she almost got me killed, it was just as many that were like clinging to her and were looking for her coming, even when it was like she could be at a call next door and the family over here, hey Julie, and running up and hugging her and everything. So I do want to just say that it is a loss for the Gary Fire Department with her leaving us. It's going to be a void that's going to be hard to fill. And I just ask that everyone here pray for Julie and her as she moves on. Right. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much.
Any additional discussion? May we have roll call for approval, please?
Member Green, Member Allen,
Yes.
Secretary Morgan,
Yes.
Vice President Dumas.
Yes.
President Suggs.
Yes.
Mr. President, the vote is 5 yes, 0 no.
With a vote of 5 yes and 0 against, the retirement for paramedic Julie Delato has been approved. And I just want to thank you, Chief, for coming in and adding some context. This sounds like an amazing employee and a representative of the city of Gary, and I too wish her the best.
Okay, Mr. President, that concludes correspondence from the Law Department.
Thank you. Moving on to item number 6 on our agenda, that is unfinished business. Is there any unfinished business for the board? Item number 7, new business. Is there any new business? I'm looking on the sheet for public comments. I see no signature, but certainly want to open the floor up if someone wants to make a comment before the board. Yes.
I'd just like to make a comment as it relates to Julie. I know my family, is just like she said, basically, she became family. My mom and sister also used their ambulance services, and everybody Julie would be the person that would come. And yeah, I would have to agree, it's going to be a great loss because she somehow can come into our neighborhoods, embrace us, and feel like family.
Wonderful. Thank you for the comments. Any additional comments before the board? Please give me a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you for attending. We appreciate